I want to talk about evolution. I want to talk about self fix. I want to talk about metro and phone companies and a few other things that humans need to improve on, or thank God as well, that we're we're not functioning correctly. It's like evolution. Right now in our DNA, and how stories are passed down to generation to generation. Why ain't why do we treat people like crap? Why do we go out of our way to hurt people and make money off other people? Well, we know that's wrong. We know that's absolutely uh, wouldn't want that to happen to us. Why do we, see an inborn need to hurt someone's character and disrespect them? I can see a juvenile that's not taught, not trained, you know, Tarzan going out and fucking back smacking people. I can definitely see stuff like that. But I can't see people that have been in society, integrated in the city, you know, treating people. Why do we hate people from another color? From, that have one, two, three, four, five fingers, two eyes, two ears. They look like us. Why do we think they're from another planet? I mean, they might be, but the thing is, why do we want to hurt them? Why do we feel that things that are different than us are wrong? Why is it routine in our brain? Why did God make us with uh, such poor adaptability to different situations? He should have, put that Prometheus or God or the Creator should have already had that program that thought out. The Creator is long gone. Prometheus got burned. You know, that's for people who don't know. Prometheus is the person that designed human beings in Greek mythology, if that's even, a realistic story, and we're just not thrown here from another planet somewhere from aliens, created from alien existence, and to program to do for aliens and not actually human beings. I just don't understand why we could sell somebody a product, know nothing about it, like, and then have all these repair shops because the product breaks. I can see having poor components in there because they didn't, make the product well enough because they wanted it to break, so you buy another product. That's how they kind of kept in business. That's kind of a poor way of looking at it, but why have viruses in something? It's the same thing. It's like, yeah, I can't really see both of them honestly. Why do we make products suck? And why do we make viruses for to hurt people? You know, we're gonna make mistakes. If we're not hurting ourselves, that should be all right. We're not hurting other people. Who's to care if we hurt each other, or who's to care that we hurt ourselves? Only other people would care. If they cared enough, they would stop us. A dog is not gonna do that. A dog is gonna look at you sideways and go on to another owner. But because but it don't go out of its way to kill you or kill another dog. Only in humans will we hurt each other and ourselves. Why? It's, at this point of the timeline in all of human existence, we're programming that in the next generation hurt each other. We're not trying to save each other. We can't even have an abortion. We don't want we want more kids here that we don't know how to teach. We don't know how to train. We don't know how to make good people. You know, somewhere around the starting of this, we were bad people, and then we just progressed to keep the talented people going, and the good-looking people, because it's on appearance. It's, we're programmed to uh, look at attraction and appearance, and if we're attracted to what we you know first seen from the egg, the womb. You know, the first person that treated us good, we're attracted to that, or what we thought was good. But how do we know what is good and what is bad when we're babies? It's all like programmed in by TV, our parents. Nobody has the right idea at this point because nobody has been telling the next generation stories of the past. And every kid should want to know that. I heard some stories of my mom. I didn't particularly understand them, and a lot of it is people are poor storytellers. But why don't we have a class on telling stories to make these stories better? Nobody gives a rat's ass about one another. We just want to hurt people. This is hell. Believe it or not, Earth is hell, because think about it. We're not teaching our kids ways to improve, to have a better life, other than to know math, PE. You can play sports. Sports does nothing on learning how to tell a story, to talk. It tells you nothing about how to fix something, how to remember something. It tells you nothing. It shows you how to play a game that will take up your time in life, so you can do absolutely nothing else with it. And music at least teaches you numbers and sounds and notes, and how to copy things, how to practice. Sports, we don't really teach kids how to practice doing a jump shot in school, to be a professional athlete. In PE, we just let them go butt wild and give them some things to play with. It's like, kindergarten for the rest of your life. PE is like kindergarten. Let's talk more about school. Also, social studies. Maybe you'll get that. That might be something good to learn about the world, but we don't really know about other countries and how they live. Because we're in our country, worried about our country, and that's natural. But if you're doing social studies, you should learn more about capitals and states, or how big the area is over there, or where the city is at. You should learn about culture. You should have a class on culture, learning other people's culture, traditions and stuff like that, old traditions. So maybe we can bring that back into the timeline of doing it once again. But no, we want control over what we like and dislike. And the wealthy have a major hand in this. Companies, they're not seeking out improvement of the next generation. The government's not seeking out the improvement of the generation. They have prison cells, but for the wrong people. People that just made bad decisions. People that make bad decisions, why should they be getting years on their life? Just kill them. Make a bad decision on them, and give them time. We already have too many people. We can't even have an abortion at this point. What do we need people in prisons for? Prisons should be for people that, make bad decisions and make mistakes. But they should be learning what they did was wrong. When your parents put you in timeout, they explain to you what you did was wrong, and that they give you another chance to and give you a reward, most likely, food or something to get your mind off of it and and see if you'll do it again. They give you like a little leash. That's probation. I understand that, but if you murder somebody, you get murdered. God left people behind. Law and order. There's no laws that prevent people from selling things that they have no idea how to use. It's like people at Metro or T-Mobile sell phones that or new phones, or they don't know how they really work. They don't know why this is not working. They know that they don't even know how to get a virus off on your phone. They should be studying all these phones so they know, tell them what phone is good, what phone sucks. Why do they make shitty phones for? Why do we make batteries that have uh, lower energy rate than other batteries at this point? Why do we make, products that are like rejects, or there's a word for it, like generic products that suck? I don't know where these companies are, or we don't have a class or schools for adult to learn. They can make us pay money to do other things in life, but they just want us to pay rent. That's it. And that seems exhausting. It seems stupid to have to pay to live on Earth. They tell us about drugs and alcohol. No, we see all this depression. We pay rent. We see somebody with suitcases on the side on a bus stop. We see somebody with no legs. When we try to quit drinking or drug usage, but they tell us that we're addicts. No, we can quit that shit anytime we want. It does have some kind of health problem. I get that, but if we want to quit, we'll quit. It doesn't take a sober sinner or to do so. I mean, if you like it, you like it. That's what it is. You may, be doing it for the rest of your life, but you can grow out of it. People get bored of doing the same thing over and over, so they do quit for a while. But the thing is, they see so much depression, things that never change in this world. And you know what helped them before? The alcohol, the drugs. That helped them before. They can't even get drugs out of the country that people live in. People do a shitty job nowadays of doing their job because they know it's not the right way of doing things. And it's all, they only are really doing it for the money, to pay rent. Or, buy some new product to pay rent on, like a phone. We got these phones way too early, and we couldn't even figure out why it was that we do the things that we do. Then we got this technology thing given to us, and all it does is prove if cops are crooked. And I mean, look at Law and Order. Look at how crooked cops ask you for ID, and when people find out the Constitution and how law and order works, we find out cops are screwing with our, screwing with us, fucking with us. They're trying to hurt us because they can't ask us for our ID. They can't. Fourth Amendment says they can't go through our personal belongings without asking. They can't do a lot of stuff, and they do it anyways. So the whole world is corrupt. Why do we sit and put up with it? Because we get distracted with sex. Sex fixes the problem. Drugs, alcohol fix the problem. That's why they still have drugs in America. That's why they still sell alcohol in America. That's why you can buy sex in America. To move on from that little issue that day, which will reoccur constantly in your life, and you'll go back to sex and drugs. Because I'm exhausted from it. I'm burnt out from it. I'm only 40. I'm exhausted from this world. I don't want to work in it. I don't want to be a part of this world. I don't. Half the people on this planet I don't even want to know because they're corrupt, and there ain't no way to fix them.